If there's one good thing that came out of this movie, and there were several, it's that I never have to hear this again.
We got twins! Twins!
Now, that might not be true because I actually really did enjoy this film. So unfortunately, I will have to endure it if I want to rewatch this movie again later on down the line. But I gotta tell you guys, even with the annoyance of that, I think this movie is totally worth it. Twisters is a great retelling, reboot, continuation, I'm not really sure, of the 1996 movie Twister. And one of the things that it does really well is incorporate modern ideas and technologies into the story in a way that updates what we saw before, but also keeps it familiar. Now, one of the things that was obviously updated was the cast. We have Daisy Edgar-Jones, we have Glen Powell, and we have Anthony Ramos. And out of those three, it would be absolutely impossible for me to not say that Glen Powell stole the show. He's been having quite the run this year, whether it's Hitman or Twisters, and I believe he has another movie coming out down the line of this year. But either way, his performance in this movie made the film. Now, Daisy Edgar-Jones, who plays Kate, she was great. I did not mean to rhyme that. And Anthony Ramos, who plays Javi, is also a really good addition to this cast. However, I felt like at times he was really underutilized, but the thing that they did really well with his character is gave him an interesting journey throughout this film. Here's the one issue I had with Anthony Ramos as Javi. The movie is trying to tell me that this young man is from Oklahoma. That man is from New York. It was so funny watching the movie trying to convince me that he was from anywhere else but from New York. At one point, he's visiting Kate, who's living in New York, actually. They're at a coffee shop, and he's like, yo, my man. And I'm like, that man is from New York.
You did it! Brooklyn, baby!
Now, what is the movie about? Well, essentially, it's about a group of environmental scientists who are trying to find ways to save people during tornadoes, or twisters, if you will. Unlike the first movie where they were trying to make the detection of twisters go from 3 seconds and giving people a 3-second warning before a twister hit, and move it to a 15-second warning, which is really important. That amount of time can get you from your house to shelter, right? Instead of just being 3 seconds and a lot more fatalities happening. In this particular movie, they're trying to find a way to disperse some scientific gobbledygook up into a tornado or a twister in order to make it stop, essentially. And the science is not my concern. What my concern is whether or not it was entertaining watching them trying to achieve it. And I gotta say, it was definitely entertaining. Now, one of the other things that they did a really good job with, which I thought was actually done much better than the first movie, they give me more reasons to care about these characters. You have one set of environmental scientists who are on the side of trying to bring help to the local communities. You have another set of environmental scientists who are trying to profit off of the destruction that these twisters are causing. Which group is which is actually really interesting. Not everything is as it seems on this front, and that's where we have our star. Well, not star, co-star, Glen Powell come in. Glen Powell plays this energetic, charismatic character who is a YouTuber. Hey, I'm a YouTuber too, who is out there trying to bring awareness and really excitement to this local weather phenomenon in the state of Oklahoma. Is it Oklahoma? I think it's Oklahoma.
It is.
Him and his team are driving around, they're chasing tornadoes, and he has this ridiculous catchphrase.
If you feel it,
Yeah, I'm not chasing none of that. There's no way in hell I'm chasing a tornado. I will remain in Philadelphia where there are no twisters or tornadoes, or hopefully there won't be. We just had an earthquake a couple months ago, which is not supposed to happen. One of the most important aspects of this film is the actual twisters themselves and whether or not you found them to be an actual threat. And I thought that they did a really good job of making you feel the type of intense fear and anxiety that all the characters were feeling when those twisters showed up. And yes, some of them split off into twins.
we got twins! Twins!
The third act of this movie is absolutely incredible. It's jaw-dropping, it's white knuckling, or whatever the phrase is for being on the edge of your seat and like holding on to something really tight. You're holding on really tight to your seat as much as the people who are in the movie are, which is not true because they're trying to escape a twister. But either way, it's really wild to see some of the things that the characters were doing. Things such as driving directly into a twister. That's something that they actively avoided in the first movie. And in this movie, they pretty much embrace it. But they did some really cool things where there were some inventions that Glen Powell's character created, or at least his team helped him create, that made that slightly believable. But if the twisters are as powerful as they claim them to be, you might be like, I don't know about that one. Either way, I was engaged with the characters. I felt the anxiety and the pressure of the storm. And I really believe in the story that the director and the writers were telling. So with that being said, I would say that this is a good time at the movies. If you want to go see a blockbuster event environmental film, we don't really get a lot of anymore. This is definitely the one to go see. This one will whet your appetite, which is a weird phrase that I've never really enjoyed saying. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll talk to you guys next time.